Good morning. Welcome to Brian and Carrie in the morning. Wow, what just happened before we went live was really funny. It had to do with underwear up bums, but that's all I gotta say about
Brian's underwear was up his butt.
Brian's not wearing underwear right now. A little bit too much information probably. Today's show is all about this. Have you ever reached a goal and then found yourself thinking, now what? Maybe even started losing grasp of the goal you just achieved. So have we. But we learn to keep achieving more. In today's show, we're going to teach you all about how to do that. So what we'd like you to do right now is share this into your live stream. Look at, not really share it into your live stream as much as share it into your news feed, but whatever. Look at, achieving goals is a massive, massive, massive topic in today's society, right? Everybody's setting goals, wanting to achieve their goals, but there's an undercurrent, a dark side to the whole goal achievement realm, and that's what happens when you actually achieve the goals you set. Right? Because for a lot of people, it's actually a bigger challenge than getting there. It's like they get to their destination, now they don't know what to do. And they start losing grasp of the goal they just achieved. You've experienced that, and so have people you know. So please share this right now and spread the word. We're going to talk a lot about that today.
Yes, I'm very excited about this topic in particular today.
Like my bench shirt?
I love your. I wasn't really sure what you were going to ask me there. Do I like your bench shirt? I love your bench.
You have a hair right there.
We're just falling to pieces over here.
We're doing okay. Good morning, Lisa Arsenault. Good morning, Michelle Adams. Good morning, Tiffany Maxim. Tiffany Maxim has already shared this.
She has. She's fantastic.
She is fantastic.
Good morning, Jen Langlois. You know,
that's very French.
Jen, I should be able to pronounce your last name because I live in Quebec.
She's French.
But Langlois is Langlois. I don't know how you pronounce it yourself because you might not pronounce it that way at all. It's one of the French words that I've had a great challenge pronouncing over the course of my life.
I don't speak French at all, so I have challenged all the French words.
It's hard.
Here's a question of the day while we're finishing up. We have a pre-show going on for the next 8 minutes or so, so I have a question of the day for you guys. First of all, good morning, Chris Goldowski.
I love Chris Goldowski.
How do you not love Chris? How do you not love the Goldowskis?
Chris and Kelly both sent me a message last night. And I can't remember, Chris, what I was chuckling at that you said, but I was laughing, and now I'm like, what was I can't remember what I was laughing at.
You know what? They're funny people. But let me do this. Let me give you the question of the day. And I'm going to come back to something about the Goldowskis right after. Okay, here's the question of the day. You ready? On January 30th of this year, this very month, it's my birthday. And I am in pre-birthday celebrations.
Because it lasts
as I often do. How old am I turning? How old am I turning this January? January 30th, 2017. How old am I turning?
This is like a challenge for people to guess your age.
It might be. We play the game often with people.
So just for the record, we don't play the game very often with people. Brian plays this game.
I do.
We go to grocery stores. Or pharmacies or wherever
people,
we are.
People do,
And Brandon, I was just going to call you Brandon.
That's weird.
Brian will just randomly say to people, how old do you think we are?
Yeah.
And then to get that look of like, oh my gosh, I have to guess this question.
Right.
But
just for the record, I think it's awesome that Loria Petrucci, who's watching live right now, her birthday's on the 25th. She's an Aquarius like us then.
Wait, are you an Aquarius or are you on the cusp?
Capricorn, because my dad's a Capricorn. Everyone's guessing. We got 45 by Christine Basista, 43 by the Goldowskis. Good morning to Dustin, by the way. 39 with a winky face. I don't know what's a winky face for, Tiffany? Hello, Daniel C. Grant. I love that guy.
Most of the people who are tuning in right now were around for your 40th.
Yeah, so what? So whatever.
So somebody who doesn't
sometimes math is hard.
Well, it is for me.
It is for me.
Sometimes.
Reminder of today's show. Have you ever achieved a goal? Have you ever reached a goal and then found yourself asking, now what? Right? It's almost like there's bigger stress after you achieve the goal than there was leading up to achieving it. There's kind of excitement and momentum and motivation to get there, but once you're there, now you're stressed. You're kind of asking yourself, what do I do now? Right? So we've kind of learned a hack.
I think stress and fear.
Fear,
is the other one.
Yeah, because you now you start fearing, can I keep up this pace? What if I lose the goal? Right? We've created a hack for how you achieve more. Does that sound like something that interests you? It should, because it plagues millions of people. So here's a request. Share this live stream right now with people in your newsfeed, because this applies to people in business and fitness, in finances and everything.
Absolutely.
What happens when you achieve your goal? What happens next? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Yay.
You have the longest green hair in your beard.
I have green hair.
It's
Carrie.
mine.
It's Carrie. Yeah, I don't have green hair in my beard. Chris Goldowski is Friday the 13th is your birthday this year. That's pretty badass.
I think that's awesome.
Strong Capricorn. You and my dad. My dad's birthday was last week, as you guys know. Wait, it was last week? It was the 6th. I don't know what day it is.
I'm confused on days.
But I mentioned my dad's birthday on our last live stream. Good morning, Marcy.
JG's watching from another office. Tiffany, Max, and Brian and I are both Aquarius.
We are.
Yeah.
Carrie's birthday is February.
February.
I know what day.
February what?
9th.
February 9th. You know, can I tell a funny story?
Yeah.
The funniest story about birthdays and the dates is it's been an ongoing joke for the last, 4 years, that Maya can't remember the date of Brian's birthday.
Or yours, for that matter.
Yeah, but it's not as funny, because it's not as funny
because she misses my birthday by months.
She's like February 28th, and then she'll be like January 20th, 21st, 22nd. Like, she's playing The Price is Right.
My favorite though, my favorite is when Maya, our little 11-year-old, and I say, "Hey babe, when's my birthday?" And she gets starstruck because she knows she doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets afraid that she's going to disappoint me, which would never happen because I don't care. But this is my favorite. She's actually said this more than once. Okay, so ready. I'm Maya, you're me. Ask me when my birthday is.
When's your birthday?
No, ask me when your birthday is.
Oh, when is my birthday?
February 31st. Wait, 32nd? 32nd?
There is no 31st or 32nd.
Yeah, but the 31st you can at least reconcile as reasonable. February 32nd.
Oh, man.
Anyways, who says that? Marcy Williams, by the way, is January 31st.
She's an Aquarian just like us.
24 hours after me. Marcy, guess how old I'm turning this 30th. Go
I
ahead.
love that.
By the way, most of you were right on my age.
Yeah, I mean, in and around, because some people guess 45.
Yeah, Christine
not
Basista
45.
hurt my feelings, said 45. Didn't really hurt my feelings.
You know, on the topic of birthdays, just before we jump to the show, because we're about to go live into the show, but on the topic of birthdays and the whole Aquarian factor, when you and I got together, when we just first started kind of messaging back and forth, I don't know if you remember this, but we were like 2 days into our relationship in messaging, because for those of you who don't know, it all started that way.
Yeah.
And like on the second day, I was like, when is your birthday? Because I'm kind of not a big horoscope person,
but
but
like
I know I recognize the traits of certain horoscopes.
Yeah.
And I was like, when is your birthday? And he's like, January 30th. And I was like, I fucking knew it. Oh,
Wait,
I never swear on camera.
Is saying you swear a problem? I don't.
I never swear.
Fuck, shit, ass.
Anyways, I was like, I knew it because we were so similar and we had so many characteristics, and I totally pegged you. And it's proven to be very true.
I agree. I just want to say one more thing. Marcy Williams wins the age guessing game. She guessed me at 38. It's all right. I'm turning 43. Very, very proud of all of those years. I intend to be epic well into my hundreds, and that's not a joke. You're all invited to my 102nd birthday. Happily. So yeah, today's show we're going to start right now. As a matter of fact, have you ever reached a goal?
Yeah.
And then ask yourself, now what? Because there's fear, there's stress, there's strain. You have momentum, motivation getting you to that goal. Then you get there, you're proud of yourself, and the next day you're like, oh shit, now what?
Yep.
So if that sounds familiar to you, share this right now because people around the world need to hear it. And to our beloved Share team. Share team, go! Share this out into the world, please and thank you. The Share team is something that everyone watching, we'd love you to investigate to see if it's something you'd like to be a part of. It's an intimate community of people who are intent on helping us share this message worldwide. Go to Brian&Carrie ShareTeam.com. And the emphasis on my pen was on purpose.
The second you have a pen in your hand, this is what happens.
I always have a pen. Hey, look, Carrie is watching.
I would like to get you a sign or something that says "Share Team Go."
Share Team Go.
I think we need to get
awesome.
that.
We need to start that feed over.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Carrie's going to excuse herself to start that live stream over there, which is like the cheap seats. You don't want to be over there, so no worries. Tiffany Maxim put Brian&CarrieShareTeam.com in the comments, so thank you for that. Lisa Arsenault has already shared. Thank you for that. Good, okay. Well, good. Welcome over there, you, in the way cheap seats. Welcome to Brian and Carrie in the morning. You're on my profile right now, and you have no business being over there. Look, you're way in the cheap seats, behind the camera, behind the lights. Come up here front and center. Just go to facebook.com/Brian&Carrie Live. You'll catch us live right here. Yes. Today's show, by the way, welcome to Brian&Carrie in the Morning. We are live right now in Montreal, Canada. It's a balmy -22 outside.
For those of you who don't know the translation on that, it's cold.
It's cold. In terms of American, that's about 12 degrees. So there you go.
12 degrees in my head sounds warm.
Yeah, because we live in Canada.
Yeah.
We work on a Celsius thing.
Right.
Yeah. But having said that, today's show is big. For us, it's big because everyone sets goals. Mm-hmm. Everybody strives to achieve their goals. Everybody buys books, hires coaches, consults videos on motivation and momentum in order to achieve their goals. But then they get their goals. Mm-hmm. And that's when shit turns scary. Yeah. Because people now start getting the scarcity mindsets. They have fear. They have anxiety. I've reached my goal. Now what?
Right.
Now what is what we're going to talk about today? And I think, we have a very important day tomorrow as a family. So you're probably just really equipped to talk about this topic.
I love that you said that we have an important day as a family tomorrow.
It's a massively important part of our
family experience.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess not to make this too long of a story, but if you've been watching anything on my own profile page and even on our Brian&Carrie page, I've talked a little bit about the fact that I've been going through a physique cut.
Yep.
So for the last 6 months, I have been working very hard and very diligently to essentially lean out as much as I can in preparation for, tomorrow, which is a photo shoot. But the truth is, that's kind of just the icing on the cake. Yeah. I opted to do this because I wanted to.
You love the journey.
I just enjoy the journey.
I'm going to add things because I've been an observer for 6 months.
Okay.
And I think my observations are actually even as telling as your own experiences, to be honest.
Did you want to add now?
Let me add just really fast. I think that, you said something to me this morning, as a matter of fact, that I thought was rather riveting and worth sharing with people. For you, the body is a work of art. The human body is an artistic canvas.
Right.
And that, even if you're not a painter, which I'm not, but very few people would have difficulty understanding or comprehending the notion of working 6 months on a beautiful canvas and even sacrificing things they might want to do instead in order to produce a masterpiece. Whether it's a masterpiece in anybody else's eyes or just their own is irrelevant, but to produce a masterpiece, very few people will be challenged by understanding that as a worthy thing.
Right.
But the way our society has started basically shitting on people who actually use their body as a canvas makes this one almost like a greater challenge to understand. Well, why would she do that? She's so vain.
Right. All
she cares about is the skin deep. And I mean, not only are we married and we're best friends, I know you pretty well. But for you, this has been a work of art in process.
It really has been. I think, I've had a lot of people come up to me and ask me if I'm competing. Yep. Making the assumption that, cutting yourself to this point is only for the intention of competing. To which I say, no, I'm doing it just for myself. Yep. With the comment that you made. Because it is, I find the human body fascinating. Yep. And I think sculpting it is absolutely something that I marvel in.
Sure.
So the whole point of saying all that is that tomorrow essentially marks the end of the last 6 months of this cut phase.
With effort, exactly.
And I have a really epic photo shoot scheduled. That's where the art part comes in. It's going to be epic. I'm going to do some behind the scenes stuff, so come on over tomorrow. But the reality is it's not really the end at all. And I found myself, reflecting on this a great deal the last couple of weeks because I have competed in fitness competitions before. Yes. And I remember what it felt like leading up towards that competition, that end point, the goal, essentially, which was the competition, was that I started to feel anxiety about what am I going to do after the competition? How much weight am I going to gain? What's my workout supposed to be? What's my structure supposed to be? I remember thinking way more about the Starbucks bag of goodies you were going to bring me,
which I did,
than I actually did about the competition. Yep. So because it was my focus was just so myopic on that one day.
Sure.
But what I noticed this time around is that, starting probably about a week ago, I'm already past the cut and tomorrow, and my brain is already on what's next.
What's next?
And that's what we're going to talk about today, the what's
Sure.
next, because it's not fearful, it's not anxious, it's not anything negative.
Sure.
Right?
Well, I mean, we've already started talking about what's next.
Yeah.
In many ways. And I
Right.
think that's the point of today. So let me take this out of just fitness and
Absolutely,
physique.
'cause
Let
it
me
applies
put
to
it.
everything.
I'm going to put it into relationships and love. I want to put it into business, right? So it matches where you might be on your journey insofar as goal acquisition, right? Millions of people around the world, they strive to fall in love.
Yeah.
They spare no expense or energy in the pursuit of finding their ideal match. And then something interesting happens. You find him or her. And now you have to create a relationship. And isn't it so ironic that we put so much effort into the attainment of the thing,
Right.
without ever even recognizing that once we have the thing, that's when the real work starts.
Yeah.
I mean, we experienced that.
Of course.
We found each other
Yeah.
through happenstance, fell in love madly from 800 miles or 700 miles away. But then I got to Montreal, and that's when the real work started, building a relationship, right? Business is no different. And we've experienced business success on many levels and business failures on many levels. But I mean, I don't really know what your experiences are. Maybe your goal is to have a 7-figure company. Maybe your goal is financial independence. Maybe your goal is to have an online profit center that is relatively automatic and doesn't take up a lot of your time. Okay? It doesn't. Those are all hypotheticals, but they all apply. Here's the question that we think is important for you to ask yourself. Once you achieve that, then what? Say, now I have an online profit center that's relatively automatic and doesn't occupy a lot of my time. Cool.
Right.
How are you going to use the rest of your time?
Right.
Now what?
Yeah.
Now what? So you've earned a 7-figure company. Now what? Is it just automatically now you have to go to high 7 figures or 8 figures? Right? There's nobody looks at the now what near enough.
Yeah.
Right?
I
That's
agree.
the real key. And as my last comment.
No, of course, yeah.
This is the point we're going to round into over the course of this episode, is that everything we do in life, in our physical culture, in our business, is based off a 2 to 3 year plan. And guess what happens when we get to the end of the 2 to 3 year plan?
We have another one.
We create another one. We create another 2 to 3 year plan.
We probably created it well before we got to the end of the 2 to 3 year plan as well.
Likely within a year of actually getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to, as you were talking, so many examples of other things that people can relate to came to my mind. And the one that I've actually come across, because I've coached people through this, is retirement.
Yeah.
You work your life to get to retirement. But I know so many people who found themselves retired, and believe it or not, depression hits.
Yes.
Panic hits.
Sure.
Because people, if you work to retirement, but then what is your retirement going to be? You have to create it. It just doesn't create itself, right? The other one that came to my mind is the number of people who we've worked with who want to get out of debt. Like that's a big one. I want to get out of debt.
That's a great
right?
example, yeah.
And so getting out of debt is great. It's fantastic. But the then what? The now what? Now that you're out of debt, what are you going to do? And I know so many people personally who have got themselves out of debt only to find themselves back into debt.
Right.
Because, well, they didn't have a plan for afterwards.
Because conceivably now you have expendable cash.
Yeah.
And a mindset that got you into debt in the first place. Which means now we're staring at potential travesty of falling back into debt again.
Right.
So before we go on, first of all, I want to thank every single person who has shared this video. This is a thriving topic that needs to be understood in business and fitness and love and relationships. So if you haven't already, or even if you have, please share this video right now. Get the world talking about this. Once you've achieved your goal, now what?
Right.
That's number one. Number two, if you like what we're talking about so far, do us a favor. Either like or love this live stream, or put a comment in our comment box below. We got our phone right here. So we're reading. I just want to take a few moments to say that Scott Livingston and Jamie, who we're hanging out with this weekend, going to go to the Montreal Canadiens game and eat lots of food.
Yep.
They are watching from the top of Mount Tremblant.
Let's do a live show from the top of Mount Tremblant in a couple weeks when we're up there.
With Jamie and Scott as our guests.
It's a date.
It's a date if you
There
guys
you
are
go.
down. And Lisa Arsenault put a beautiful comment about since she started working with us, She's turned 40, and now she has such a deeper appreciation of self and how that spans into developing a longer-term plan for your life. Absolutely beautiful.
So let me wrap this around to like, why am I not stressing the now what? Right? I think that maybe like painting the picture of like what exactly we do, right? So I want you to remember that this doesn't apply just to fitness.
Of course.
Right? We're using this example because it's so prominent right now, and I've been so reflective, and we've been talking about it a great deal, but it applies to everything. So the reason that my brain is not, I'm not stressed, my brain is not focused on tomorrow being the end of it, and what if I gain weight, and what if this, and what if that, is because I have a plan.
Yes.
And it's a 2 to 3 year plan. And, you know, I know where I'm going, I know my direction. So I'm talking specifically for myself right now, so I'm giving you my personal example. My physical culture is all about building strength, and then crafting my physique. Like those two go hand in hand, and of course there's a litany of other things underneath that. But those are the two the two focuses, the big focuses.
Sure.
So what I do is I actually cycle my training. So it's a strength phase followed by a cut phase followed by a strength phase. But and that's the plan. That is the plan, right? So over the next 2 to 3 years, for me, my focus is to get as strong as I possibly can, and to sculpt my physique as much as I possibly can in the next 2 to 3 years. So what that has led me to be in a position to do is, leading up to today, I was able to talk to my coach and have a plan in place. So that I know exactly what I'm going into next. So here we are, tomorrow's my end point of this, but I already know my training structure. I already know when I start reverse dieting. I already know what my recovery period is for the next 5 days.
That's right.
I've already identified my targets on all my lifts of what I want to be squatting, benching, and deadlifting in the next 12 weeks, right? So I'm super excited to step into that now. There's no sadness of, oh, this one's over. You know,
it's so much so. First of all, let me say good morning to Sean and Helgi in Iceland. Sharon, who's in Australia. Good morning. Angie Olsen, who's on the west coast of Canada. Good morning, everyone.
Can we just give a shout out to Sean Hummel, who is like the best real estate agent ever?
Right on. Is that our real estate?
Yeah, who locked down our home in Toronto.
What's up, man? Good to see you. Glad to have you. That's fine. What the hell was I talking about?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just remembered. Look, it's so much so that in the last 2 weeks, right, this is the objective guy watching Carrie's journey. In the last 2 weeks, okay, Carrie has not said one thing about excitement or anticipation for this photo shoot that's looming tomorrow. But it's not because she's not excited about it. And it's not because she's not grateful and feeling blessed and humble for having gotten herself to this point. All she's talked about for the last 2 weeks is how excited she is for the next cycle. That's a mindset that's prepared to continue accelerating, continue achieving. And Marcy Williams made a comment a few minutes ago where she said that she's definitely gotten to a stuck phase after achieving a goal. Marcy, you are one of a billion people around the world who can relate to that. I mean, a billion. Right. Speaking of which, by the way, one of our own private clients, Casey Arnold, just chimed in. Good morning, Casey. So I want to say one more thing in relation to all that. I have, because I'm a nerd, I read a lot, and I really enjoy learning stuff. I read a lot of articles and interviews with elderly people who are still successful and still vibrant and youthful, asking them about their secrets. You know what the standalone most common thread is to all these people who have chimed in over the years in interviews and articles about what is their secret to longevity. And I'm talking about 90-year-olds who still travel around the world experiencing different places, 90-year-olds who still powerlift. I mean, I watched a video of a 92-year-old competing in a powerlifting competition where he deadlifted 275 pounds. Right. That's not a lot of weight. But when you're 92 years old and you weigh 165 pounds, that's a ton. I mean, that's just amazing. So he did a follow-up interview about his vigor nature and how he's at 92 competing in powerlifting. By the way, he only started powerlifting in his mid-80s. Think about that for a second.
So if you're sitting there thinking if you're too old
to start. Too old, right? So one thing he said just jumped out at me. He said, the secret to not getting old is to always have new things to look forward to. When you start looking in the rear view mirror of your life as opposed to the future, you shut down and you die. And that's like metaphoric and true all at the same time. I know 30-year-olds who are dead, metaphorically. Right. I know 25, 40-year-olds who are dead. They are so stuck and so paralyzed and so limited by their own self-perceived limits that they may as well not even exist in many ways because they are not doing anything with this gift of life. And that's the key. What's next? If you don't know what's next in your life, well, you don't really have much of an ambitious life. And that's something that's both correctable, but so easy to correct. Yeah. What's next?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, of course, it goes without saying that, of course, to all of that, right? And there's really not much more I can add to that particular point, because I think that is, it's so simple. It's so simple to understand, really. You just, and so take some time to reflect on maybe your goals, where you're sitting right now, and how much you've fallen into this quote unquote goal trap.
Right.
Because, you know, you were talking before about how often we can relate to it as well. And let's just continue to use the fitness comparison for a second. After my first competition, I mean, I bounced and I gained a lot of weight.
Which is common.
Not that I have a problem with the weight gain.
No.
The point is that I wasn't happy with where I went.
Right.
Because I wasn't focused, and I was kind of aimless and walking around. And I know a lot of people in that particular realm who, when they decide to stop competing, now they've lost the entire sense of their physical culture, right?
Yeah.
So no one is going to craft your life for you.
Right.
And I think that is another point that has to be made. Like, no one's going to tell you what's next.
Sure.
You have to decide what's next for you, right?
100%.
And just really quickly, I want to give a shout out to Brian Sakowitz.
Nice.
I hope I pronounced that right. Who is with us live, I'm assuming today for the first time, is new to our page and has been enjoying it since he's been here.
Good morning,
welcome
Brian.
to the show.
Thanks for joining us. Friend of Lori's, it looks like.
There you go.
Lori's pretty badass, eh?
There you go.
I dig her. First of all, let me say this. Are you enjoying this? Is this resonating? Are you picking up what we're laying down? If so, give us some hearts. Give us some reaction. Give us some comments right now. And if you could, please share this video. Let people know that there is not an endpoint to goals. There's always a next step capacity. Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
So here's a couple takeaways I want you to think about for today. By the way, the hearts are rolling in. We certainly appreciate that. Hell to the yeah, says
Marcy.
Marcy.
You're the best.
Marcy brings the flavor, man. Every episode, Marcy brings the flavor, and I love that. Marcy, by the way, is part of our share team.
Yes, she is.
We should mention that. If you'd like to be part of the Brian and Carrie in the Morning share team, please go to brianandcarrieshareteam.com. Be part of an amazing, thriving community of people who are intent on helping us spread this message worldwide. It's a gorgeous bunch of people. brianandcarrieshareteam.com. All the instructions are there.
Right. You know what just went through my head when you said Marcy brings the flavor?
Yeah.
I don't even know where this is from, but you know that Flavor Flav? Where's that from?
From Flavor Flav.
I don't know what that is.
He's the hip hop guy.
But like, you introduced me to that a couple years ago.
Flavor Flav!
So, Marcy, every time I think of you now, that's going to be what I associate with you. I hope that's okay.
Not a huge compliment.
Well, it is, because it's funny in my world.
Funny to you.
So it's great.
Yeah, Flavor Flav is a bit of a tweak. She's laughing. A bit of a tweaked out, kind of has been, but whatever.
You had takeaways.
I have some takeaways. Don't rush me.
No, I wasn't trying to rush you.
You have green hair.
Everywhere, my green hair.
This is my casual way of touching my wife's breasts.
If my breasts are up there, we have an issue.
This one just won't go.
Do you need to know?
Got it! Yes! Now I can go with some takeaways, all right? So here's the takeaway we want you to start with. Number one, do you have a 2 to 3 year plan for varying parts of your life? If you are a fitness enthusiast, it's not so much what you're trying to accomplish now, but what do you want over the next 2 to 3 years? Which, by the way, I should qualify. A 2 to 3 year plan doesn't necessarily involve next steps, because what you're doing now, you might do for 2 to 3 years, right? And I'm going to use my own case example in the physical culture world to explain that. I actually haven't said anything about this yet. I have never powerlifted a day in my life. I've always trained. I've always been an athlete and very physical. I've been a fighter. I've trained in fighting and in combat sports for most of my life. And for a couple of years, back in my late teens, early 20s, I took, squat, bench, deadlift very, very seriously. But that's now 20 some odd years ago. I haven't taken any of that stuff seriously in a long, long time. But I have decided that I'm going to compete in powerlifting because it's fun. I really enjoy it. It's a nice kind of me against myself, place. And my first powerlifting competition's coming up this summer, as a matter of fact. But I intend to powerlift for 2 to 3 years. My long-term plan, my 2 to 3 year plan, is to become the best powerlifter I can over the next 2 to 3 years. But somewhere in that 2 to 3 year cycle, I will also address what comes next.
Right.
I'll have a plan of walking out of powerlifting and into something else, or extending my powerlifting for another cycle.
Right.
So like that's our first takeaway. Do you have a 2 to 3 year plan for your fitness, for your relationship and your marriage, for your business, for your life? Life is this amazing thing. Life is the thing that gets away from you when you're busy thinking about the things you want to do, but not actually action stepping towards them.
Right.
And it goes fast. I'm sure I preach in the choir to most people right now, but like I'm turning 43 at the end of this month, and I'm not an ageist guy. I don't care. 43, 63, 23, it's all the same to me. I couldn't care less. I don't worry about age at all. But I don't honestly know how I got this old. It feels like yesterday I was 19.
Can I just wake up?
It just, life goes. And if you're not kind of marking your progress on things in your life, relationships, fitness, marriage, life, business, then you're going to wake up and be X old, and the opportunity is going to be a little bit shorter now.
Right.
Right? So create a 2 to 3 year outcome for every or one at least aspect of your life. That is our takeaway number one.
Yeah, I want to add to that because, I think sometimes, especially on social media, we're used to hearing the rhetoric.
Yeah.
Right? We're used to hearing the, life, if you don't happen to your life, it happens to you.
Sure.
We're so used to that stuff. But I something came to me as we're sitting here, and it's not something you haven't heard before. In your life, you have to choose to be an active passenger, not a passive one.
Yeah.
Because really and truly, like, no one can make those decisions for you. You have to take charge of that, right? Now, that is not something you've never heard before, and that sounds very motivational, very, rhetoric based. But I want to say that, like, those are the obvious statements that we believe in. Yeah. I think the problem that most people come across is that they don't know how to do that.
Yep.
Right? So that's what we have spent so much time kind of creating in our programs and our mentors and what we share on the page is that the simple steps that you can take to every day to make sure that you are an active passenger in your life. You're the active driver, I should say, rather than a passenger, right?
Sure.
So I just wanted to add that.
Shout out to my cousin, Pat, down in Ohio, who just tuned in and is watching live. What's up, cuz? Love you, brother. And Marcy Williams agrees. This is huge. Yeah. This is huge. It's massive. I also want to add thank you, Dustin. Get it, Brian.
You're going to get
He's
it.
like all over this powerlifting stuff. Thank you guys for all of that. Here's my second takeaway, and it's nothing we haven't said before, and it's a bit more philosophical, a little less specific to pen and paper tasks, so to speak. But when you construct a 2 to 3 year plan for either your life or parts of your life, then you have a vision. Hold that vision every single day. Because I'm going to tell you something, success doesn't go like this. Success goes like this. There's ups, there's downs all the time. Week in, week out, things work, things don't work. If you don't, and this is the point of a 2 to 3 year plan, if you don't have a vision for where you're going over the next 2 to 3 years, when shit goes south on a given day, something didn't work, you get injured in the gym, you break up with your boyfriend or God forbid get divorced. When shit hits the fan and starts going south, you start to question your life, your identity, your happiness, everything, okay? If you have a 2 to 3 year plan, you have a vision. Yeah. And when you have a vision, even in your darkest moments, you can hold that vision right here. That's powerful scientifically, but it's also powerful emotionally. And I'm sure you can feel that when things don't go right as an entrepreneur and you have those weeks where you just can't seem to get yourself unburied from the crap all over your head. Holding the vision changes your perspective. Yeah. When you hold the vision, you also must trust the process. A 2 to 3 year plan is a process. And I got to tell you, I have watched her for 6 months do what she had to do, make the odd sacrifice. She did not craft this physique in 6 days or even 6 weeks. And the marketing world has handed us all a great big load of poo by pretending that 6 weeks to a brand new body, 4 weeks to $1 million business. I hate it. I can't stand it. I can't stand that people actually believe that shit and pay for it. A process is necessary.
Right.
Nothing. Building a relationship, creating a successful marriage, establishing and building and prospering with a business, a physical goal, be it physique or powerlifting. I'm not going to walk underneath a bar on day one and squat 500 pounds. But you better believe at some competition between now and 2018, I'm going to squat 500 pounds. But that's going to be from me committing to every day and trusting the process is going to get me there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold the vision, trust the process, commit to the day. When your job becomes about committing to the only thing that matters, which is today's execution, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely anything.
And I'm going to add my trick of the trade, my little hack that I use on that.
Yes.
And I use this in every aspect of life. I'm going to again refer to specifically this particular journey because there have been sacrifices, and not massive ones, but because I make it all work in our life. But there has been days where getting to the gym has been a challenge, or I woke up feeling a certain way, and I was like, "Gosh, how am I going to get through this today?" Right? So in those moments, because we're the first ones to say that. Just because we've been practicing all of the mindset tools and the strategies that we have for years doesn't mean that we're not challenged with
we're not immune to reality,
thoughts, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
So in those moments, and every single day, I ask myself, what is my job today?
Right.
So I have the vision, I trust the process, but now here I am today. What is my job today? Yeah. And that is just so powerful.
Let me add to that. What she actually does, I love watching it. She takes a little cue card, a little 3x5. And she writes out all the jobs she has to do today, the intention she has. And I watch her tick them off one by one as the day goes on.
Absolutely.
Keeps you centered on the things that matter.
I could keep going, but
really good.
We're like going to wrap up soon.
We're at the end of Brian and Carrie in the morning. How do you not want to join us? Starting next month, 5 days a week, 30 minutes of us giving you tools, tactics, strategies to eliminate the limits in your life, your business, your relationships, your fitness, and everything else. Share this stream right now if you could. This is a massive topic. And that brings us to closing thoughts.
I'm timing.
A brand new segment for Brian and Carrie in the morning. Every single episode we will end with a 2-minute closing thoughts.
It's Brian's closing thoughts today.
It's Brian's closing thoughts today. And here are my closing thoughts. For about 6 months now, I've watched my wife sacrifice some, dedicate a lot, and pursue in a way that most of you would not even recognize insofar as human potential. The sacrifices have not been monumental. She's not lost time with me or her kids. She has not sacrificed food she wished she was eating. She's just made concerted decisions every single day to attain what it is she wanted. Now, the whole point of me saying that is this. We're never going to shake the reality that some people in the world, as cynical as they want to be, are always going to see those of us who think physical activity culture is as important as any business or spiritual endeavor. They're going to see it as skin deep at best. And we're not going to ever change their minds on that. And to them I say, this does not apply to you necessarily, although you may want to listen carefully. What I want to say is that over the last 6 months, my wife, my best friend, has actually helped me remove my limits. She's helped me eliminate my limits in business and in life and in certain aspects of my own physical culture. And she's done that not by telling me what to do. She's done that by being a thriving and breathing example of what to do herself. There is no greater teacher than the one who says, watch this. Let me show you how it's done. Her objective was not to teach me. Her objective was not to help me. Her objective was to do something for herself. But in watching her do that, I eliminated many of my own limits. Let me round this to a quick point. I want to say that your circle of influence matters, that your best friend, your wife, your husband, even your kids create this circle of influence around you. And that circle is a testament to who you are and what you're capable of. So choose that circle very, very, very wisely. But here's what I want to say instead. Rather than choosing the circle who influences you, which is what most experts suggest you do, how about you do what my wife did? You become the influencer. In the best case example, your best friend, your wife, your husband, elevates you. And you should not settle for anything less than that. So I'm not speaking to your wife, your husband, your best friend. I'm speaking to you. Don't wait for them to elevate you. Decide to elevate them. It's what makes life perfect. That was Brian and Carrie in the morning for today. Did you enjoy today's episode? If so, give us some love. Maybe give us a little share. And give us some comments. We'll stick around for a couple seconds, maybe answering some questions.
I'm going to pick myself up off the floor.
Why are you on the floor?
I'm sure everybody
it's funny.
saw the tears starting.
I was waiting for hearts and hearts, but I'm getting hearts in the comments. And now the hearts are rolling. You guys are awesome.
Because of the time delay.
Yes. Crushed it. Well said. Thank you, Daniel C. Grant. Guys, you guys are awesome. And I want to say one last thing. We are moving Brian and Carrie in the morning to 5 days a week for one reason. Are you ready for what the reason is? Look at your own screen. Look at those hearts come flooding across. We don't do this for us. We do this for you. You inspire us more than you know. And this is our way of giving back. Can we contribute to your life and help you grow, help you prosper, help you eliminate your own limits in life, fitness, and business? That's why we're choosing this medium, so that we can interact with you on a 5-day-a-week basis. And we thank you for being a part of it. So with that, we'll see you on Friday.
On Friday.
Thanks
Bye.
for watching. The long walk around now to turn off all the live streams.